Before I share my morning musing from today, I'd like you to close your eyes and travel with me into another dimension. As we close our eyes, we zoom out from Earth. We go higher and higher into space, into the galactic stars, further and further back to the beginning of time, all the way back before the foundations of the universe were laid, all the way back to the bosom of Source. As I'm going to relate my thoughts, I want you to look from that place, from the bosom of God, and comprehend consciously what was taking place in the earth story of Jesus' time. So picture it like you're a satellite out in space and you're zooming in on this single point in time and space when Jesus is standing in Jerusalem and is surrounded and confronted by the religious leaders who were trying to understand with their intellect and mental mind, their ego mind, comparing the actions of the person in front of them and the words that he said to the things that are literally written in the book, in the scriptures. So zoom in on that. Now here's my musing. When Jesus said the blasphemous statement of "Before Abraham was, I am," that just rattled the minds of those religious leaders and teachers and rabbis. They could not wrap their mind around it because they lacked the view from where you are looking now. Remember, you are in the bosom of the Father. You are in the bosom of Source, looking at a tiny point in time, on the spiral of time. You're looking in on that from a higher perspective. Now, as you are understanding from that perspective, you might understand that when I say now, in the same conscious awareness, and I say, before Jesus was, I am, that should make perfect sense to your higher consciousness. Because from the vantage point where you're looking, of course, you and I were before the Jesus, the tiny Jesus point in time and space that happened 2,000 years ago. In our higher self, we can all say, before Jesus was, I am, because we are timeless, eternal beings, sparks, seeds from the bosom of divine Source. So we cannot and should not identify ourselves as the tiny identity that is born in a small as this small point in time and space called Earth. In my case, right now, in the year 2022, I am, before renegade was, I am. It's the same theme, the same theme and thing. Just think of it in those terms. From the lower perspective, the literal reading of scriptures, we would have the same reaction as the Pharisees did, because we're seeing it only from a linear point of view, and that's why they said, "You're not even 50 years old. How can you say, before Abraham was, I am?" Because it is not a linear, literal consciousness. Jesus spoke from his eternal awareness, just as I am speaking from my eternal awareness. And in that awareness, I can say, before Jesus was, I am. I hope that makes sense. So now you can come back, bring yourself back to Earth time, into this small dot on the linear timeline that is called 2022. And you are here manifested as this small dot, three-dimensional dot, but that is not who you and me are. We are before anything was ever created.